Well, hello everybody. We are back. I know I've been gone on a hiatus, it appears. I didn't leave, I didn't go anywhere. Um, as you recall, let me do an introduction again. It's been so long, I guess I have to reintroduce myself. This is Cindy from Real Deal News. Real Deal around town. I don't even remember the name here. It's Real Deal News is the shortcut, but anyway. We're here. I've been away. I haven't been away. I just have been away from YouTube. I've been watching. Of course, the Karen retrial is back. Is everybody watching the Karen retrial? You can't miss this. Watch Melanie Little, Law Tuber. I'm not a paid advertiser here, but she is the best. If you want to watch the Karen Reed stuff, Melanie Little is the one to watch. And she's got full coverage. In fact, she's still on talking about what happened today. She had Mark Bettero on today. So that was good. Well, they watched um, Arca. Dr. Wolf was just beat to shit by Hank, but that's okay. AJ saves the day again. Anyway, that's it for Karen Reed for right now. But that's part of why I last few days, anyways. However many days we've been doing this again. Season 2, they call it. Anyway, yeah, the last time I was here was the weekend before town meeting, which was a month ago. Town meeting was May 6th, I think, and here we are, June 6th. I'm doing this video on June 6th, a whole month. Oh my. See, that's how much trauma you guys put me through to get ready for town meeting. I had so much information to get out, and I think I did like 3 meetings or 3 YouTube videos in a day, and I just kept going. It was a very busy time, and I think I'm traumatized. So I needed some time off. Not that the town hall hasn't taken any time off. It is a zoo up there. And I'm telling you, my primary purpose today, well, the primary goal of this video is going to be going over the special town meeting coming up on June 18th. Now, a little education on that is that the special town meeting thing is a new addition, actually. It was discussed that it was going to have, if you went to the town meeting, the annual town meeting on May 6th, you would know that they said that they were going to do a special town meeting on June 18th because the Board of Health is doing whatever town council advised to get an article up there so that we can get possibly trash back, because the selectmen did take it away, by the way, for July 1st. In case nothing happens, we're losing trash July 1st. I don't think the townspeople are going to go for it, so I think it's going to be a mess. What I mean to say is that townspeople don't want to lose trash, so that's a problem. That's not the problem. The problem is the select board pulled it. I need more lighting. Lighting is a mess here. Geez, I'm so out of practice. Ooh, that's bright. Holy cow. Let me turn this down. Is that better? Ooh. Need some light, but not that much. Holy cow. Anyway, okay. Oh, now I got wires in front of me. Okay. I lost my train of thought. I'm allowed to do that. It's my channel. I can lose my train of thought. You're watching, but stay watching. Keep watching. So there's more to come. This is exciting news here. So we did extend the annual town meeting. We never did get to the budget, and it got late. I was tired. It's way past my bedtime, let me tell you, on that night. But they had to end the town meeting for that night, and because there was so much about trash, they decided to, they kept pushing dates out, and it got all the way out to June 18th. So that's when the actual regular annual town meeting was continued to, which the articles that were left, which were some of the ones that I was really hoping to get through, the veterans ones, really, I want to see those go through. But the budget is in flux still. Select board hasn't done a damn thing, but which we'll go over. So there's a special town meeting that's going to happen before the annual. It's all in the same night. If you really want, I think it's at the high school, which this is great. I really like that auditorium. It's very nice. It's my first time in it, I think. Yes, I didn't go to any of the other hearings that had been there, but it was great. I think it's a really well designed space, and it's perfect for our town meeting. And we had, I think there were 264 people went to the annual town meeting. That's near a record. I don't think it is a record. I'm sure that if I go back 200 years, that somewhere in there were 200 people showed up. But everybody's really up in arms about the Board of Selectmen not, they're trying to pass a secret budget. It's not happening. And then they've taken away the most important thing to townspeople, and that's trash. I think we'll give up just about anything. We'll take trash. Give me trash. And that's a problem. So I don't see it resolved anytime soon. So before I get into the special town meeting stuff, I want to give just a little bit of update. Those of you that follow me know that I've been concerned about transparency in town hall. In fact, if you look at the description of this page, this YouTube channel, you'll see that my primary goal in life is transparency. And I've really taken on that mission over a year ago, actually before that. But when I created this channel, it was all about the obvious lack of transparency. And that was a whole different Board of Selectmen. Those guys are all gone. We have new Board of Selectmen. And we even have a new member who, I swear, I don't know, she's getting railroaded. I'm giving her a little bit of benefit of the doubt because she's only been in the seat for not even 2 months yet. So, but she's not catching on. She's doing what they want, and it's getting the town in trouble. And to demonstrate that, the open meeting law complaints are still getting written. I haven't written one in a couple weeks, but I'm preparing 4 more. 4. I have 4 more open meeting law complaints that I will be submitting over the next week. There's one I was just starting before I decided to, no, let me do this video. I can knock that one out. I might wait until I can do the next one. I might wait to do them all at once. I haven't decided. It's all about the board going into executive session. Basically, the basic premise is to just keep going into executive session to come up with a budget, and they don't want to tell us what it is. It's all secret. And they've got the unions all wrapped up in this, and I understand the unions are not too happy. That's just rumor. I'm not even sure what, because I haven't spoken to any union members, I don't think, about this issue. But the union, they're not, my understanding is the select board isn't even negotiating with the union. They keep going into executive session for strategy, but all they're doing in that executive session is trying to figure out the budget that they don't want to tell us. I don't know. And then they keep coming up with things that there's no record of there being a public meeting where they came up with these ideas. So I don't know. So there's 4 coming, 4 new open meeting law complaints, which could lead to fines. The Attorney General has got to catch up. They got a lot. Apparently, there's a lot of open meeting law complaints that they're getting from statewide, and they're just kind of busy. They haven't caught up with my January complaints yet. They haven't made their determinations yet. It's just the timing. I just looked today, and the ones that they were publishing were complaints that other towns had made back in October. So, I mean, they skip around between October and January, but they haven't gotten to the middle of January yet. So mine's still sitting there. I filed 2, one against Housing Trust and one against the Board of Selectmen in January, and they haven't determined them. They should any minute. They're due any minute. I don't think they're all that complicated. They should do them. I don't know. They're busy. I'll give them a break. I'm going to be nice to the AG. I'd like them to be nice to me. So here we go. But I'm going to be blasting them with 4 more. And I kind of feel bad because I just want the Board of Selectmen and the other boards, because one of them is not against the Board of Selectmen, by the way. I'm going to save that one. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to keep a secret now, but it'll be public once I do it. Because that might turn into 2 as well. unfortunately. I feel bad about it. I do, but I'm going to do it. Um, I really want our town officials to pay attention because I feel very, very strongly that the open meeting law is the public's first line of defense against tyranny. Yes, tyranny. Against public officials who do things behind closed doors and do things in secret. And we don't have a chance in hell of being able to do anything about it if that's allowed to happen. And I am paying attention. So I am doing something about it. And I am filing complaints with the Attorney General's office so that they can get involved. And all they really can do initially is to just send a letter to a determination to the Board of Selectmen and say, this is wrong. You made a mistake. You violated the law, blah, blah, blah. Stop doing it. And when they start to pile up, then they get a little bit more serious and they start charging fines. And the fines go to the town. And just take notice that I'm not the one causing the fine. It's those who are breaking the law. They're breaking the law. I'm just reporting it. And if they stop breaking the law, I won't report a violation of the law, and they won't get fined. Simple. This is really simple. And I really prefer that they stop violating the law because I know the public. We're watching the shit show of this town meeting stuff tear this town apart. I mean, the townspeople, I think we're all 99% of us are all on the same side. And it's no. We want the select board to do the right thing, and they're just not doing it. So anyway, let me move forward and the special town meeting, you may have already heard. I know that it's been posted, I think. I'm not on all the Facebook pages, so I don't know what the hell's going on most of the Facebook. I understand there's a lot of debate, but I think I'm hearing it as rumors because I haven't seen it myself. Okay. I don't know what's being said on Facebook. Every now and then people yell at me about it, and I'm like, I haven't seen anything. And they think I'm lying. They accuse me of causing it. And it's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And I really don't because I've been blocked from all the good, the juicy, the yelling, the people that yell at each other. I'm blocked from those Facebook pages. Like what's going on, discussing Townsend. There's a couple others. I think there's, in fact, Townsend United or Townsend something. I can't remember the name of that one. That was Joe Shanks. It probably still is Joe Shanks. I think he might even have discussing Townsend. I'm not sure. But I'm a block. They won't let me in because they know I'm going to talk about it. And it's not okay. So there you have it. So tonight, this afternoon, what time is it? Okay. There's a thunderstorm coming through. I hope I don't get struck by lightning being on electronic devices. But anyway, we're going to talk about the special town meeting and the warrant. I'm not going to go back over the annual town meeting, what's left. I'm only going to talk about the special town meeting warrant. And I think some of you are going to be surprised, but don't be. But the last article is going to kick your butt. And you're going to see exactly why this town is so upset and why June 18th, I might wear a flak vest and a helmet. I don't know. No, I don't think I've never seen town meeting get that bad, but it's wow. Get a good seat. Come early, get a good seat. I know I am. It's gonna be the thing that worries me about June 18th is that they have to have this settled by June 30th because the July 1st is the new fiscal year, and they have no intention. They just have no intention. They're just thinking that the select board thinks they're going to stick it to us. Okay, we can go home and go back to our lives, and you guys have to figure it out. Not, and you'll have to have another meeting. And it's not gonna, we got contracts out there. I'm babbling. I'm not babbling. I mean, this is really bad. This is, you can't be doing this stuff. And they're doing it anyway. And they just want to stick it, and they just don't want to be accountable for it. They're the ones who just can't make a decision. And if they don't even want to let us know what they're talking about. And this has been going on way too long. So, okay. Oh, I haven't done a video in a while. I'm kind of miscombobulated here. Okay, which button do I want to push? Oh, oh my goodness, there's nothing there. Let's see. Um, you know what? I'll put, you can watch me do this. Present. I want, oh, share screen. Gosh, I'm losing my mind. Google Chrome. I have no idea what it's talking about, but I'll allow it. I'll allow it. As Judge Beverly Canoni says, I'll allow it. Now I got to find a window. I need, there it is. Share. Let me just go back here, make sure you can see it. Can you see that okay? Is that good? Can you read it? I'm going to get out of the way. How's that? And then all right, I guess it didn't get any bigger for you, but okay. There it is. All right, so here's the special town meeting. I'm not going to read the first part. That's just, they posted it. That's very nice. We're having a special town meeting at the high school, the auditorium, on 18th at 7 p.m. Article 1. This is one of the big ones. To see if the town will vote to accept the provisions of General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53F and a half, establishing solid waste recycling collection and disposal services as an enterprise fund, effective as of fiscal year 2026, which is July 1st, or take any other action in relationship thereto. So that's the, sorry, I got a parched throat here. So this is the enterprise funds, which allows the Board of Health to collect the funds from us now, to pay for trash, and then pay the cost associated with that program out of that fund, without it going in and out of the general fund and all that other stuff. And this is the one everybody was hoping that would get. They tried to get it through at the last meeting, but because it wasn't properly posted, they had to do it as a special town meeting. And so here it is. This is, which there's nothing, one way, no matter what happens with trash, this is not a bad thing. So no matter what you think is going to happen, or whatever does happen, passing this article won't hurt anything, no matter what. Only if we fund it and don't use it. That's the only thing. Then we'd have to go to a town meeting again. But that's okay. It's all right. All is well with this article. Pass it, in my opinion. I'm telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I want to do. Article 2. Here we are. To see if the town will vote to transfer $160,000 from the general stabilization account. No. This is worded so wrong. You cannot. What? I'm losing my mind. To see if the town will vote to transfer from 160,000 from the stabilization account, and to raise and appropriate the sum of $626,351, or any other sum, I guess, because they're not sure, to operate this, because they're still talking to Shaw's, to operate the solid waste and recycling enterprise fund. That's the fund we just voted on in Article 1, for fiscal year 2026. And in order to fund the cost of intermunicipal expenses, that $16,351 of said sum or any other sum be appropriated in the general fund. Oh, this is a confusing one. I'm confused. I'm not completely confused. But this is how they're trying to fund the enterprise fund. So if Article 1 fails, this is this is just nothing. This we'll have to pass over it because this is to operate the solid waste and recycling enterprise fund is the purpose of this article. And if we don't pass the enterprise fund, then Article 2 will be passed over. So the 160 coming out of stabilization, that means the money's already there. The other 626,000 is where things get interesting because you got to raise and appropriate. I'm assuming somebody's going to ask. I'm not going to get involved because this is kind of town council will have to explain the inference here. And I'm sure that Christian, Dr. Chris, I'll call him Dr. Chris from the Board of Health, to explain how the term raise and appropriate 626,000 apply, or any other sum. That one bothers me too. I'd like this explained and the legal significance of it, of the vote to fund this. I don't want anybody to think I'm questioning what's going on here, but I am. I mean, we should have an explanation. We shouldn't just say, "Oh, okay, we'll trust them." No, I don't trust anybody anymore. But see, that's a lot of money. And things would get dicey if this just ends up in the general fund, out of the general fund, because the money's not there. The budget's not there for this money. I think this is supposed to be getting paying for the plastic bags. And, okay. All right, now I get it. Sorry. This is going to be explained as, I'm going to have to do another video on this money is coming from plastic bag sales, purple bag sales, as well as an additional fee that everybody who's on town trash is going to have to pay, which the last I knew, and I don't think the Board of Health is changing it, there's $125 per household who's on town trash. If you're a tenant, you don't have to pay it. It would be property owners that have to pay this. So that's where things are going to get confusing. But if you're on town trash, and you have to pay the $125. I haven't heard how they're going to plan this. There is a public hearing by the Board of Health and the FinCom on June 12th, which is less than a week away, at Town Hall. They're in room 2. I don't think it's going to be big enough. If it isn't, they have to do something else. They can't, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But there's a public hearing on June 12th at Town Hall by the Board of Health to go over this and get people's input to discuss this. But this $625,000 is going to come from purple bag sales and trash fee. I do plan on doing another video on trash fees before the town meeting commences, because I do have concerns. I'm not against this. I'm concerned. I have concerns about the balancing act, and this is a balancing act. But I'm going to save it for my trash. I got to do another trash video. All right, Article 3, to see if the town will vote to appropriate the sum of $15,000 for the upkeep, maintenance of the Townsend cemeteries or any other related expense. Said appropriation to be paid from sales of lots fund or to take any other action in relation thereto. I don't know. No. All right. First of all, of course, we're going to take 15,000 from the sales of lots fund. This isn't coming out of taxes. This isn't coming out of anywhere like that. We're not coughing this up. I think this article got left off the annual town meeting. It's a regular thing. I think it's almost annually that this gets on, if not annually, and it got left off. But I don't think it's worded right, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong. If I'm wrong, I admit it. I could be wrong, but they're not appropriating it. They're transferring. They're transferring $15,000 from the sales of lots fund and transferring it for the upkeep and maintenance of the Townsend cemeteries or any other related expenses, which is more upkeep, mowing the lawns, cleaning up, things like that. Whatever they got to do over there, keeping the fence up. Sometimes that gets kind of shady. And that's pretty cheap money, actually. But it probably costs more than that. I don't know. We'll have to look at the cemetery's budget. So, but I think this, I have a problem with appropriate. Appropriate means to take it from taxes. We got to raise funds somehow. I think it should be transfer. I think that might be, the motion might say something else, but this is fine. Move along. Don't ask a lot of questions. This one, that's okay. It's coming out of, they sell cemetery lots and the money goes into a fund and that's where the money's coming from. There you go. Article 3, piece of cake. Okay. Oh, this one. Article 4. I am not going to sit here on this video and lose my voice reading this one. But this is about constables. This is a charter change, which is fine. The charter was so decimated. There's going to be a lot of these kind of articles coming up over the next several years because there's a lot just not there. But this is a change. There's a lot of politics on this one, people. If you've really been paying attention with what's going on in Townsend, you'll know what I'm going to be talking about. And that is the status of constables in the town of Townsend. What is a constable? Let me scroll down. I think there's a definition here. This is all administrative. Okay. Powers and duties. Constables. Right here, powers and duties. Does this highlight on the screen? Does that? I'm going to quickly. It does. Yay. Okay. All is well in the world. Powers and duties. Okay. Constables shall have the powers and duties conferred by law, including but not limited to serving civil process, making arrests for breaches of the peace, and such other powers as may be assigned by town bylaw or state law. I didn't know they could arrest people. That's new to me. For breaches of the peace. It's probably because I think it's a legal term. They're not going to arrest you, take you down the police station, book you, and bring you to court and all that kind of stuff. That's not what constables. If they do that, it's news to me. I think it's a legal anomaly here. Lawyers would not say that, but arrest, if you're detained, they get into the hunky wording of, if you're detained, it's an arrest. If you're arrested, you are detained. So they can't really do everything that. Don't be nervous. Constables, we've had a couple constables in Townsend. The Board of Selectmen did away with them. Gone. No more. Now everything the constables used to do that the town of Townsend needs, we have to pay $800 more for a police officer to do it. And one of the things is if you go to vote, you'll see there'll be a constable, there'll be somebody there that has a chain around their neck and a big badge. They're a constable. And they're there to keep the peace and, just kind of make sure everybody gets in the right line and you don't cause a ruckus. And if you're there and you are wearing a hat or a T-shirt with a political message from a candidate or whatever you're supporting, they're there to, tell you have to leave nicely, and you're supposed to respect them and all this stuff. That's one thing that they do. And that cost, their fee for that is under, I think it's like $200 at most. And if now we have to have a police officer at all these events, and at least one, and it's $800 a pop. Could be 1,600 depending on the size of what's happening. But we wouldn't pay that. So the Board of Selectmen, it just wants to spend money. So they got rid of the constable so that they can pay police officers 10 times what it costs. And this without an explanation, not allowing the townspeople to really have a say in this. So, and the thing with civil process, what is that? If you've ever been served with, well, you could be not a warrant. Well, it could be. I don't think constables really serve those. Police officers serve those. If you're served with, you're being sued. If you're being sued or you're being summoned to testify in a civil or sometimes a criminal proceeding, I think criminal, they usually do use sheriffs, I'm not sure. But on civil process, yeah, civil process. If you're involved in a lawsuit, an attorney representing the other side will have you served by a constable with the summons to appear for a deposition or to appear as part of the civil process. And a constable will do that. And that's, I don't know what the fee, it depends. I don't know what the fee generally is. It varies. But constables would serve those. And they're for all, and sometimes the courts will do that. I know housing court uses constables, and it gets complicated when you pull constables in your community. It gets complicated as to who can serve civil process in the town. Like from now, anybody that needs to get served with any kind of civil process has to have a sheriff, which costs much more. Serve the papers. Our local police can't do it because they're not civil process servers. The sheriff's office in either Worcester County or Middlesex County have to come out and serve process to us. So it's going to be much more expensive. If you're suing somebody, sometimes in divorces and all kinds of, if you owe money or if somebody owes you money, and you want to have, you're required as part of a civil process, as part of a small claims, somebody needs to serve somebody with the order from the court or a summons to appear or make some kind of notice that they're being sued. You need to use a constable. And now we can't do that in Townsend. But we want to bring that back. I've been following this, but there was a petition that went out. I did get a copy of the petition. I didn't study it. I did not sign it. I was not asked to sign it. I would have. I didn't know that they were doing it this way. I'm pretty impressed what I see in this special town meeting warrant here. This is awesome. What the petitioners have done, and I'll tell you, I think they had a lawyer do this with them. I'm pretty sure. Or they copied it from another town. I don't know. I have to look at it. I'll be able to tell, maybe. Or we'll hear about it. I'll find out. They're going to cause these. This article is to ask us to vote so that we will elect 3 constables at the next town election. We're going to have elected constables. This is awesome. And why I think it's awesome, it's going to be interesting because not just anybody can be a constable. You cannot just be a constable because you are acting as some form. You're not a police officer. You're acting on behalf of courts, or you're part of the legal process. So everybody is not eligible to do this. Like if you have a criminal record, You can't be a constable. Things like that. There's a whole bunch of things. I have to look it up. It's in the law somewhere. Must be. It probably is Master Law, Chapter 41, Section 11. Um, I think, or Chapter 41 is I could be wrong, but I'm assuming that's the constable law. You can look it up. I'm not gonna. But the reason I really think this is hilarious. I mean, I think it's good. It's not just a funny thing. It's not funny. It's serious. The people who understand what happened with the constables, are not happy, and we really need to bring them back. There's no reason why they were taken away, except the whim of the Board of Selectmen, and they won't tell us why. Oh, because this really started with, I mean, Chaz and Joe were on this too, but without explanation. Just, we got to get rid of them. And I don't know. I really think it's personal. I I don't know. But what I think is really the hilarious part is what's been happening in the town of Townsend over the last few years is the successive boards of selectmen. And actually, no, Veronica wasn't there, I don't think. No, she wasn't. Well, we started a few years ago with the Board of Selectmen threw a fit, and decided that they wanted to get rid of the elected Board of Health and make it appointed. And well, townspeople came out at a town meeting, and they even called a special town meeting for that. That was bizarre, really bizarre. And the town said, no, you're not going to do that. We want to continue to have an elected Board of Health. Go jump in a lake. And in fact, go jump in a septic tank somewhere. And we still have an elected Board of Health. And the war between the select board and the Board of Health continues, as you know, if you're paying attention. So here we are. Oh, then we had just recently, they tried to convert the town clerk position from an elected position to an appointed position. Even more people stood up and said, no, you don't. You are not taking away our right to vote for our public officials. We're having none of it. So now when we get to constables who have some legal authority here, these people, the constables, now the Board of Selectmen will have no say. No say in who's a constable. Before, at least they had a say. They were part of the process of appointing the people who were going to be civil process servers. And which pretty much, that's the big thing with constables. And now we're going to elect them. Another important thing that constables do, what people don't understand about constables, it's like we're in a kind of a small area. We don't have thousands and thousands and thousands of people living here. And constables in a lot of places, they're making a good living. Where our constables, they're making a couple of bucks here and there, but they're not like making a full, they're not as busy to have a full-time job. But in closer areas where there's a lot going on and people are suing each other all the time, and there's a lot of court things happening and small claims, big claims, whatever, and people have to get served suing each other, then the constables advertise themselves. They let local attorneys know that they're here and they're available, and here's my fees, and I'm available to, if you have anybody in town or anywhere else for that matter, depending on the circumstance. I'm not going to get into serving papers in other towns, but they're able to have a job. And that's really, it's kind of like licensing people to be able to have this profession, to be a constable and to be able to be a process server of some sort. And lawyers want to hire constables to do that. And it's a job. It's a self-employment, but it's a job. And it has nothing, most of that has nothing to do with the actual town itself that they're appointed in. But now the select board is going to be losing their authority that they used to have, that they just surrendered because we're going to elect them. Um, it won't take place if this passes, which I hope it does. It won't happen till next April because that's when they said the next town election, the next annual town election, the same one where we're going to elect 5 select board. We got to pass that one more time. But anyway, so we got time to study up, and everybody that thinks they want to be a constable can work on this. But the reason I think it's funny is it's like, what is that saying? F around and find out. That saying is kind of cute, isn't it? F around and find out. You screw up, you do stuff, stupid stuff, and then you're going to find out what's going to come back at you. And that's what I see has happened here with the Board of Selectmen, that they thought they were cute and they wanted to get rid of constables and create a jobs program for overtime for police officers. And now they're going to lose their ability to even have any say in who the constables are. Under the old way, they had say. They could participate in a joint venture between the Board of Selectmen and, of course, verifying, for the police to have a police chief to have a say in who meets whatever ethical, proper, whatever person should be doing that job. Now everybody's out of the running. There'll be other criteria in order to actually take on the duties of a constable, I think. So it might be a little bit more complicated. It's not just a matter of running for election and getting in. There'll be more to it. So stand by. But I do want to tell you, I support this article because this is the select board asked. They didn't. I don't want this. They do not want this. I'm telling you, but we do. The townspeople. This article, the constable article, is in the best interest of the town. It's people. Let me tell you, we should vote this in, and there'll be a little bit of debate, especially coming out of the select board. There you have it. Now, this is the article. Read this one and crack up laughing. Article 5. This is an override, people. Article 5, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $258,827 for general fund budget expenses for fiscal year 2026 to fund wages, salaries, and benefits to the town for fiscal year 2026. Said appropriation, blah, 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 a 2.5 override. So they're throwing it back at us, a little game of ping pong, that, okay, if you want us to fund the salaries and benefits to the town to avoid what we're not going to tell you, we're not telling you what those wages are, who's getting them. We're not telling you that apparently that some people are getting a 9% raise and other people are going to get laid off. But if you give us $258,000 in an override, one, we don't want to tell you the parameters of it, but we just want you to vote it in. Then we'll have to have another special election if we do this. And this is crazy. There is no way on this God's green earth this is going to pass. Should be an interesting debate, but that's this end of my sense of humor. But they put another override. They had one on the annual town meeting one, and we passed over it. I'd have to go back and look to see what it said. But here it is again. I guess this is the way they want to go. But they still, and they have no intention of telling us what they're doing with the budget. That is still the deal here. So that is, I don't understand. I just don't understand. I can stop sharing that. So that's why I called you here today to looks like I'm losing internet. That's weird. Anyway, of course, the thunderstorm again. So we're here today to talk about the special town meeting on June 18th. And there are other articles because the annual town meetings continued. So, but first, first we'll be going through the special. That's usually how we do it. And I'm sure John Barrett, who's our town moderator, isn't going to do something different. But we'll do this part, and then we're going to go over to finish up the annual town meeting, which will be screwed up because the override probably won't pass, and the select board aren't doing a budget. So, enjoy. Just you figure it out. You figure it out, because I give up. I mean, I haven't given up. I'm still paying attention. I'm still trying to report things. And here we are. That's today's story on that. And hopefully, I mean, I've been really busy. I got so much going on. But I'm going to try to get more videos out. I do want to hit up the trash one to explain it to you and to explain my concerns. Because we're going to run into some problems. I just know it. And I'm not trying to pick on anybody, but I think we just are. Okay. Let me see you on the next video, and consider going to at least either on Zoom or in person at Town Hall June 12th for the Board of Health public hearing on trash. And then on the 18th at the high school for the town meeting. All right. Have a good one, everybody.